Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of You Can Play This. And I have, here it is. I have our next request right here, and holy crap, it's from Japan! I have fans in Japan? Wow, yeah, this comes from Japan. Gentleman going by the name of Moai. And he writes to me, Dear Wario, I am the one who wanted you to try out Doraemon. To tell you the truth, I actually asked someone to translate a certain American movie on YouTube. But that movie was so awful that the host was saying that it was an awful game after playing the very beginning for only a few minutes. At the same time, I watched your translated movie. It showed the details of games very well. It was really fantastic. And so, Wario, I'd like to ask you to play this one. Doraemon, huh? Yeah, I think that's a game that people could probably play and enjoy and get into. But it's tough to get into at first. Now, for those of you who may not know, Doraemon is based off of a very popular manga in the 1970s. Oh, here it is. Doraemon the Famicom game was actually released in 1986 and was pretty popular for its time. Doraemon himself is a robot cat that time traveled from the 22nd century to help young Nobita to get him to grow into a good man so that his family can prosper in the future. Throughout the series, morals were taught, like friendship, courage, and honesty. It helped many generations of young Japanese grow up, and Doraemon has since kind of become a symbol that represents Japan. Even if you don't know him, you've probably seen the character. Now, even though the controls are fairly simple, it's going to be the enemies that give you the most difficulty with this game. There are 3 different stages, and each stage has its own kind of feel. The D-pad lets you move in all directions in all the levels. In the first level, you press the A button to jump in tunnels, while the B button lets you fire your weapon. To go through doors and into tunnels, press the A button when you're over the images. In the second level, the A and B buttons both shoot. In the last level, the B button shoots your weapon, while the A button carries the items that you wish to use, but you can only carry one item at a time. Now this game is tough. I mean, it is hard. But here's some techniques that may help you get through it a little bit easier. The first level is just one huge maze. To complete it, you need to find 2 candy pieces and a torch. In World 2, you need to just finish the game. It's a shmup, so if you're good at shmups, then it'll be a little bit easier than the first level. Just survive. If you're not good at shmups, it's going to be a challenge. In the final level, you will need to find a hoop to open the walls to find Nobi and his friends Jian and Suneo. Find all 3 kids to open up the very last doorway to save Shizuka. But the kids are in one of 8 random areas, so it'll be different every time, and man, talk about a challenge. But that's not all. There are items that you need to find too. The bag drags 2 items along with you, kind of like a magnet. The hoop opens a wall, the key opens the treasure chests that the kids are hidden in, and the Japanese amulet, known as an omamori, will defeat the blue worm that comes out of any of the treasure chests that doesn't hold a kid. These are also found randomly in one of 4 areas. Now if you need a specific item and you just can't find it, you can go to this area and call for help from Doremi, Doraemon's sister. For this, you'll have to use the microphone that's on the second controller again. Doremi! Tasukete! And she'll give you your choice of items. Now you really have to buckle down and work at this game. You can't just play it willy-nilly like other games. You have to really focus. It's precise and difficult, but it can be beaten if you work at it. But you really have to give it your all. Now for all the fun that I've personally had with this game, I can understand why some American reviewers just don't like it. I mean, for one, you don't even start off with a weapon. You have to find it. Now it only adds another level of difficulty or challenge for me personally, But many people who import games, well, they might not have gotten the manual to go with the game, so they wouldn't know that you have to search for items and things to move on. And with only 3 levels, going through just one level for a long time in this game, well, it may be a bit confusing or frustrating for a lot of people. So, to wrap things up, aimed at kids, this game might not be something everyone is looking for. But if you like a challenge or are a collector, I encourage you to give this game a true shot. This is a tough game. I have no problems telling you about some of the tricks so you can enjoy it more and not feel frustrated should you feel like you're not getting anywhere. But stick with it. This game is far from impossible. 1986 graphics are not too hot for the time, but the enemies look like enemies, and you will not confuse one thing for another. There is no Japanese in this game. You plug it in and you play it. Simple controls make this an easy game to learn and have fun with. The movements are well synced up and Doraemon moves pretty fast. Once you have beaten it, I can only see playing it again to either beat your time or your last score. Remember, this was made in a time where high scores mattered to gamers. This game is fairly inexpensive, and you can find it on the cheap wherever you buy your import games. But don't pay more than $7 for it though. And even though this game has gotten a bad reputation from importers and many uninformed reviewers, Doraemon has a great success video game-wise. And this first video game for the Famicom really is a diamond in the rough, if you can look past the rough. So thanks for watching, and be sure to leave written or video comments about what you thought of this episode, or about other games you might like to see me play in the future. Hey! I have fans in Japan!